But why not in football? Like, okay, but what if it was a separate division in football of just people who do steroids?
I totally watch an entire league of
Okay,
football with
yeah,
all the players on that.
yeah. Like, it's no one's getting an advantage. They're not in the regular like football season. They just do their own thing. They have their own division for just doing as many fucking steroids as they want.
And if Justin ever wins the lottery, that's what he's gonna end up doing. He's gonna create the steroid football league.
that should have been what the XFL was. Because that would truly be some extreme football.
Did
That would
AEW inflate their attendance numbers for All In? This was, oh my god, everyone was having a meltdown over this.
Did they technically yes, but also no? They
All
went
right.
by the paid. They went by the paid attendance number.
So,
The number that they gave out is correct. It's just not the amount of people that were in the building that night. It's how many people paid for tickets.
So here is I have the whole
Right.
article just so I make sure I have the numbers right. So the actual registered numbers of people entering Wembley Stadium through the turnstiles was 72,265. This is reflective of what attended on the night and not the total number of tickets sold or no-shows. Now there's two other numbers that are important. AEW said that the paid attendance for the event was 81,035. The paid attendance. And remember, they had a whole T-shirt that they sold about All In. It said 81,035, and the largest attended event in all of wrestling history. That forgets about, Collision in Korea, the biggest pro wrestling event of all time, obviously.
But that wasn't paid.
Okay, that's true. Yes,
people...
attendance was mandatory, or else you got shot. It's true.
Yeah. So
that was another number, and then there was another number. Tickets distributed for All In was 83,131. So, based off of that, so the 72,000 that actually showed up, assuming that the paid attendance 81,035, if that's like the real number, then that means about 89. So of the 83,131, 89% of the people who bought tickets actually showed up, and 11% were
I'd
no-shows.
say the 83 for like complete tickets distributed would include like comped tickets. That's why that wasn't included in the paid attendance number.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sure.
It'd be what, like,
it would still be close to 10,000 tickets.
Which
that
I
people who didn't show up.
I did see on Twitter that someone said like day of event there was like 5,000 to 6,000 tickets for resale. So that would make up that number.
Mm-hmm.
A good chunk of that like 10,000. And then there's also, obviously, you are gonna have people who buy tickets who like last minute can't go, or just buy them thinking they can go, and then turns out, oh shit, I can't actually go to the event, but I only spent $30 for a fucking nosebleed ticket, so it doesn't really matter at the end of the day for them.
Right.
So the typical drop count, which is basically, what we're talking about here, like of the actual people who, like of the tickets sold, the actual people who show up to an AEW show is somewhere, it's between 80 and 90%. If we're going by these numbers for All In, it would be 89%, so technically it would be within the average drop count for any given AEW show. The problem is, obviously, All In is much bigger than any show that they have ever done before. It was basically like their WrestleMania. So I find it very, very hard to believe. Like, I think something is off with these numbers here. It just doesn't add up, in my opinion.
I think it makes complete sense. Like, the numbers add up pretty well, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's basically, either way, there was definitely embellishment when it comes to...
Like I said, there was no lying, because they didn't say that, like, that was, and they announced it as paid attendance.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what it was. That was the amount of tickets that were paid for.
But, okay, so they technically didn't lie, but technically they didn't say at WrestleMania 32, paid attendance 102,000. They just said attendance, right? So my point is that companies, they're going to embellish stuff all the time, and I think AEW did it in this case. You can argue...
I mean, yeah, in a sense, yes, because that's not how many people were in the building. So yes, technically you are right. They did.
And it was not the most attended wrestling event,
but, like,
as people said it was.
They didn't just inflate the numbers.
True,
Mhm.
and they were much more transparent with it because they said it was their paid attendance.
Yeah, like the number that they were
because that's
going
the
with
only
is a real number. Like that is how many
Right.
tickets were sold. Like that is the
That's the
number
only
of
number they
paid
have,
tickets.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is some irony to be had though when the actual like the turnstile number is what Dave Meltzer always cited when he discredited WWE's attendance numbers for WrestleMania 32, and the turnstile number is exactly what's being used to, I guess, kind of discredit AEW's attendance.
I mean, yeah, like they definitely did not have that many people in the building. Like there's no way around that. Like they definitely I mean, technically, yeah, I guess they lied.
Companies are going to do that all the time. It's like with WWE, they just announced the largest gate in wrestling history, which is true, but that's also because you fucking skyrocketed the prices of the tickets
Yeah,
so
like
much.
every WWE show now is the highest grossing show in this place or wherever the fuck they are. It's like, yeah, you're gonna do that when your tickets are 10 times higher, 100 times higher than they were last time you were in that arena. Like, of
Absolutely.
course you're gonna have the highest grossing show that you've ever had in fucking whatever, fucking Pennsylvania, like they did like on SmackDown a couple weeks ago or whatever it was. Like, yeah, that happens when you're raising your prices to fucking crazy ass numbers.
You guys saw the attendance for Dynamite this week was the second lowest ever, not counting
Oh
the
yeah,
COVID ones, of course.
if you've like looked at any of the upcoming AEW ticket sales, they're not doing very good.
No.
Yeah, they're almost like they had like 2200 or 2400 people show up. That's almost like TNA on the road numbers bad. Like...
Yeah, their ticket sales like for any of their shows are not going well. And also, I don't know why they keep doing this. Anytime I see like one of their like things pop up on Twitter of like this is how many tickets they've sold, they always are running these huge fucking arenas that they have no chance of ever filling up for an episode of fucking Dynamite. Run
Yeah.
smaller places.
Like it was
Absolutely.
one thing.
It looks better. It looks better on TV if you run a smaller place that you can fill up than a huge place that's fucking a quarter full.
Right. Like it was one thing when you did the Allstate Arena for the return of CM Punk in Chicago and stuff, because you knew you were gonna sell that out and stuff for his return.
Yeah.
Of course.
But yeah, no, you do not need to be in a giant arena every week for Dynamite, and especially now when you're getting your lowest ticket sales and attendance records in attendance in your company's history for your weekly shows. Plus, a lot of people have been calling that the CM Punk effect, is that now a lot of people have tuned out who mainly tuned into AEW for CM Punk.
Yep, he was their number one draw and their number one ticket seller, their number one merch seller. So
Sure,
no matter what people want to say, he was a huge loss for them. Probably the biggest loss they've ever had.
I think if I remember correctly, like merch sales had Punk at 1, AEW as in like the company itself, like AEW shirts or whatever were 2, Orange Cassidy was 3. I don't remember anyone else, but the Elite was all the way down at 10. That's all I remember.
Mm-hmm.
So like they don't, outside of I guess like Orange Cassidy, they don't have any other like big merch sellers right now.
No.
Like maybe Mox, but I don't remember if his name was even on the list. So
I think the most entertaining part about all this is just the meltdown that the fanboys have, like the WWE and AEW fans, when we talk about stuff like this, when we talk about ratings, when we talk about attendance numbers and all that stuff. It's just like when WWE lies or embellishes or whatever you want to call it, or if their attendance numbers are lower than they've been, if their ratings are lower than they've been, and the AEW fans jump on that like sharks. But then when the same thing happens to AEW, the AEW fans are like, "Oh no, it's actually not that bad. Oh, it's actually like they try so hard with the mental gymnastics to try to like kind of like defend it and explain it away."
I mean, to be fair, which is what the WWE like fans.
Oh, they both do.
When
I'm
they're
saying,
on,
but
when they're on
it's
the other
interchangeable.
end, like,
yeah, obviously.
Yeah, like whatever end it's happening to, the fans of the other company that only watch that company and refuse to look at the other company have the exact reaction of the other fans. It's like fucking. Do they not see fucking how hypocritical they can be?